This is Mouth Media Network. Amplify and connect.
220,000 years ago, a man named Ga recounted a story about falling into a pit of tar to his friend Flug. Flug chuckled. Tar. Always been funny. First funny people talking ever.
My name is Delia Folk. I'm the co-founder of The Style That Binds Us, and I would rather eat meat than listen to funny people talking. No offense to the carnivores out there, but I am a vegetarian, and later on you'll hear more about that.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Funny People Talking. I'm Mark Rakel. I'm one of your hosts, and not with me today is Danielle Beckman. We miss you, Danielle. Not with me today is our producer, Elsie. We miss you, Elsie. With me today, which is the opposite of not with me today, is my good friend and my former co-host of Monkey Radio with Mark, which was the first iteration of this show before we rebooted it. And we've had many good times, many laughs, many guests, many crazy times together. That is Mr. Ben Rose. He is in the studio with me today yet again.
Oh, Mr. Mark, it's good to be here.
Woohoo!
It's good to be here.
It is good to be here. It's good to have you here.
Hey.
So, hey, buddy, thanks
Thank
for
you.
joining me. As I mentioned in our previous episode, Ben was just delightfully able to move a schedule around and, in all sincerity, to be here and fill in. And what a fill-in you are. I'm so sorry it didn't work out for you, Danielle. Ben's back. No, I'm totally kidding. But you are, and I mean this genuinely, truly, from the bottom of my heart, recording or not, you are welcome with glee back in with us at any point in time, whether or not Danielle and Elsie are here.
Thank you.
We would love to have you join in any day.
Thank you.
Okay?
I might just take you up on that. And may I say, I love your glasses.
Do you?
I love them.
Thank you.
You guys can't see them, but they got this white inlay. Just really nice.
Thanks.
I like those.
When I got them, I felt like I was reinventing. I'm like, I'm going to look different now.
Right?
I'm going to look different now because I wanted to like make that choice, that arty choice, that fashion statement. Speaking of fashion, in the see what I did there, Ben?
That was really good.
In the studio
I didn't
with
see it coming.
our guest today is, now I'm probably not going to give this its proper due, but if I was to size it up in a really, really uninformed way, I would say that our guest is a fashion consultant. But I think that's kind of like saying Picasso was a painter or a baseball player, someone who hits a ball with a bat. It's not, it's technically true, but it really doesn't encompass the world of what they do and what they know. So her name is Delia Folk. I'm so happy that you're here with us, Delia. I met you recently actually for a business discussion. And I was so taken by your energy, I immediately said, what are you doing Thursday? So I'm so happy you're here. And she does have literally one of the biggest smiles and pretty smiles that our guests have ever had in this studio. I'm not kidding. And her boots, I wish you could see them. I don't know if they're a whole alligator or not, but they are high. So welcome to the studio. Welcome to the show. I'm very happy to have you here, Delia. Hi.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yay. I just feel like she's just a little barrel of
Awesome
sunshine,
energy.
right?
Love it.
Okay. So Delia, what is the proper way to size up what it is that you do?
Well, exactly as you said before, we do so many things. So I am the co-founder of The Style That Binds Us. It is
With
my mom.
Yeah.
It is a lifestyle brand. My mom's name is Allison, and I'm Delia.
Shout out to Allison.
Hey, Beebs. So she is a stylist.
Do you call your mother Beebs?
We call each other BB. It's very strange.
That's hilarious.
I know. It's very confusing. And then other people have started calling us BB, but that's
Interesting.
not
That's not right.
yeah.
That's not right. That's messing up the flow.
Or we'll call ourselves BB. So it's all this, it's a very confusing concept. But back to what the company is. So she is a personal wardrobe stylist. And I, as you said, am a brand consultant working with emerging brands, helping them to navigate the crazy landscape of retail that y'all talk about on Fashion is Your Business podcast.
One of the other shows I I host. That's so nice of you to see that plug right there.
That's good.
Right in the heart of our audience. Thank you.
And we have a YouTube channel and podcast,
Great.
and there you'll find style
Awesome.
tips, industry interviews, and travel vlogs.
Great. All right, we will unpack all of that more later in the show. Glad to have you here. I just feel like this is going to be the best show ever, Ben.
I'm feeling really good too.
And I have to say, Delia, you remind me so much, and I say this truly with love and respect. Okay, you're like to me, and I really hope I'm not going to offend her. A word I'm going to offend you. It's like you are like you speak the energy of like a very energetic, like cotillion Southern Belle kind of hostess. You know, that you make me think of chiffon and mint juleps and sunshine and all those things, and that's the energy I feel from you a little bit. Does that strike you properly, or have I missed the mark entirely and insulted you?
Well, did you know where I was from?
No. Well, I can hear a twang.
From Alabama, so maybe that's where that comes from.
Anyway, glad to have you here. So we'll more from Delia in a moment. But before that, I do have a question for you, Ben.
Okay.
So, we mentioned Delia's alligator-looking boots. I don't know if they're real or not, but they're alligator or snake or something. What are they?
I would say snakeskin.
Okay, let's go with snakeskin. So you, my friend, that is an outfit. That's all I have to say. Okay. That is an outfit. You are head to toe fluorescent orange leather.
I didn't have a choice.
And I don't think that's a biker outfit.
No, it's not.
It's really more of a onesie.
Yeah, it's got footsies, see?
I know, leather footsies. You don't see that too often.
And if you look at the bottom of the footsies, I got these grip pads.
Wow. So wait, what do those spell? Those grip pads spell something.
Oh, they spell king.
King.
But backwards.
Oh.
So it's gink.
Nick.
That was a problem. Yeah, with getting these made.
Was that your nickname as a teen?
No. And it wasn't king either. But yeah.
Was it Queen?
I'm a little upset. No, it wasn't.
Okay, sorry. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, and I love Queen.
I do too.
Yeah, Queen's the best. But they have the grip thing, so you can't slide on them, which takes the footsie thing and onesie thing a little less fun.
There is nothing like someone in a leather onesie with traction.
Correct. But I like to create, like when you're on the subway, and you're not holding on to anything. You create,
Or you can just like dig in with your footsie.
It's like you're on a snowboard. Oh, you work on your balance and you utilize your core, and you don't fall into other people. That's what I do anyway. I don't know.
So what motivates you? Is it all about the like you need the traction and the rest of the outfit goes with it?
Well, it's called unitraction because it's a one piece, right? So
is it only on one foot? Is that why it's unitraction?
No. It's just because it's a one full thing.
Oh, I see.
There's no two piece to this.
It's weird. I don't actually see any way you got in that thing.
Well, let's just put it this way. I didn't get into it by myself. Yeah.
There's a man named Harry on Bleecker Street.
Yeah. But thank you. Thank you for acknowledging. I mean, it's kind of hard not to, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's fluorescent orange.
It's fluorescent orange.
Unless it was a brighter, did it fade or?
No, but if I click this button, see all these lights that go on?
Nope.
Like a
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Well, shit, it's intermittent. Anyway, like a broken Christmas tree.
Oh, the king lights up. That's kind of weird. You have traction with.
Oh, that does light up. That's stupid. No one's gonna see that.
I know. I don't know. Maybe
this was a terrible investment.
Anyway, well, thank you very much. Before we begin the show, I was wondering if you maybe had a health tip for us, or a nutrition or exercise fitness tip.
Well, I don't.
Ben, by the way, is a personal trainer amongst being an actor, stand-up comedian, producer, and voiceover artist.
I don't have a tip myself, but one of my friends is here.
Oh, who's here?
You want to come in?
Oh,
yeah.
Hi.
No, you can come in.
Come on, it's okay. Come in.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Come in already, please.
All right, I'm just here. How you doing here?
Oh, hi.
Harry Humstrett's the name.
Harry,
Yeah.
hi, Harry.
I'm a saxophone player here in the city.
You're a saxophone
I'm a jazz player
Yeah,
predominantly.
Jazz
yeah,
player.
yeah. You know, I played all the hits. You know, I'm here, East Coast, West Coast, and right up the middle.
Yeah, so you have a fitness tip, or
Well, I have a
something?
fitness tip because you know when you're blowing a horn all day, you
Yeah.
got to keep your lungs healthy.
You sure do.
All right, so what you do now is
Yeah.
you find yourself on a treadmill
Yes, you
or
do.
some kind of a elliptical or fitness cardio machine. And what you're going to do there is do 12 pumps
12 pumps.
on an incline, a 3.5 at a 4-degree angle, right?
It's got to be 12.
So it's a 4-degree angle, a 3.5 incline. Figure that one out, folks. Math is not my strong suit. We're going to take that speed up to 3,
wow. Okay.
maybe 3.5.
Okay.
And we just thrust in and out.
Thrust and
Thrust
thrust
in
and
and out like
thrust.
that.
Yeah.
And it gets the belly. And sometimes the belly gets in the way there, but you get it out. Yeah. There you go. So, yeah, that's the tip. That's my tip.
That's your tip.
That's my tip.
You all right there?
Yeah.
You don't have a gig tonight, do you?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Nothing tonight.
That's a pretty good tip, though.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Harry. Well,
Yeah,
why don't you
you-
go collect yourself? Maybe you sit on the ground or
Yeah,
something.
go to see how we get some water.
Okay.
Over in the corner.
Can you get him some water out there? All right. Thank you. All right. Bye, Harry. Goodbye.
Yeah,
Hope you.
Water.
all right. Is he going to be all right there?
Yeah,
Ben?
he's fine. He's fine. He doesn't take care of himself.
Oh my gosh! Wow. All right. Well, maybe we should start the show.
We should probably
You
start
pause
the
and go
show.
check
Are
on him
you
there.
doing all right?
I'm fine.
Excellent.
But you know what I'd love to do?
What's that?
Start the show.
Let's start the show.
From the Mouth Media Network studios in New York City, and from the same people who brought you Monkey Radio with Mark, this is Funny People Talking with Mark Rako, Danielle Beckman, and Elsie.
All right, everybody, we're here. Funny People Talking. Our guest is Delia Folk. She is the queen of fashion consultation. How's that? Is that your new title? Right there?
Fabulous.
Queen of fashion consultation. Okay. And of course, I'm here with Ben Rose. Glad to have you here. Before we get started with the show, a quick piece of housekeeping as per usual. We have our appeal to Tina Fey on the show. We always give a quick shout out to the comedy gods, ask them for their help in bringing and delivering Tina Fey to our doorstep, or at least on the phone, or maybe an email message. Anything will do. We're not really picky, and quite frankly, our standards are lowering every day. But we would love Tina Fey
Always
to be a part of
honesty.
it. I know that's a motivator right there. But anyway, I'm going to give a prayer. If anyone here wishes to join in, no pressure. You're welcome to do that. The more energy, the better. But I just need to get this out of the way. So, Tina Fey, please come on the show. We would love anything you can do. Tina Fey on the show. Anytime. I would love to see you here. Amen. You held that the whole time.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See you soon, Tina. All right. Ben.
Mark.
Good. Delia.
Hi.
Yeah. All right. So we've gone around the room. I'm going to start with you, Ben.
Okay.
What is going on in your life these days? Every time I walk through the city, I never know what's going to happen.
Right.
I never know who I'm going to run into.
Mhm.
I never know when I'm going to fall. I never know who's going to bang into me, which seems to be the biggest thing. I cannot bring my Okay, I'm one of those fools who brings their laptop on the subway to work. To work on the subway, because I need that hour or 45 minutes on the subway. I need it for work. I can't waste an hour and a half to 2 hours a day just riding the subway, even though it's great, like,
People
alone
watching.
self-care time. I need that time for work. So I do it. Now I'm on the subway. I'm sitting as far back on the seat as I can. My laptop is as close to my abdomen as I can. I have the screen tilted in as far as I can and still see it. And people still find a way to slam into it. And one guy today literally got off the seat. Like, I sat down. I was carrying my laptop because I walked off one train onto another. I'd been working. Sat down. And as I sat down, he realized, oh my God, this is my stop. And he got up so fast, his bag literally pulled my laptop off and I caught it.
Oh.
And he ran off and he kind of looked back like, oh, sorry. But you know what I realized? If that had gone flying and smashed into the wall, he wouldn't have come back
No.
and said, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. How can we take care of that? Let's get that fixed. I'm responsible. He would have left and go, oh, well, stupid jerk had his laptop on the subway. What are you going to do? That's my belief. I don't know him, but that's what I think. So
Doesn't sound like a very nice guy.
it didn't seem like a very nice moment.
No.
Ben. But
That happens.
so you never know what's going to happen. You never know what situation you're going to end up with. You never know if you're going to sit in a bar with your leg up on the table and the owner's going to come in and yell at you. Like happened
You
with
never
me
know.
me and Ben one time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
my
man.
God. So Ben, I actually wasn't even going to tell the story. Ben
Tell it.
Ben and I were in I'm not sure if I can recount it properly because too many years ago, but Ben and I were in a restaurant. I wish I could remember. I would say it on here. And we were in a restaurant. There weren't that many people, and we were having a drink and guacamole, actually.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I just pointed at Delia like guacamole had some.
Guacamole.
Yes, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's weird. I said, I don't know if I'll be able to remember. First thing I said was, I remember what we ate.
Yeah, right. Suddenly it all
So
comes
we're
back.
sitting there, and Ben has his leg partially up on the wooden bench.
Yeah.
I should point out.
Yeah.
So it's not fabric, it's wooden, right? Is that right?
Yep.
And there's a guy comes in, and he looked like he should be the assistant manager at a Hertz rental car. That's in Topeka.
Yes.
Okay, like in Topeka's second best Hertz rental car.
Right. Second best.
Yes. So anyway, he came in. That's a fair description of him, right?
Oh,
That kind
definitely.
of greasy kind. Okay. So he came in and sat down, and he looked at Ben and he said, very rudely, I think, very sharply, like, "Could you take your foot off of there?"
Yeah.
I should mention Ben didn't go, "Why, I'd have no problem with that. Sure, let me do that." Ben was like, I don't remember exactly what put words in your mouth, but my recollections, you were kind of like, "Why?"
Yeah.
I think you were in an ornery mood that day or something. I don't know. But you were just like, "It's wood. What am I doing?" You know,
I said
it's like-
something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's wood.
And he was like, I don't remember what he said, but he was like a super, super jerk about it.
Aggressive about it. Very aggressive.
And they sat down next to us.
Yeah.
And he started working on his accounting.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, like, first of all, mind your own business.
Yeah.
And second of all, I should say, I was also nursing an injury. So I had to keep my leg
That's what it was. You had
because
to.
it hurt to put it back down.
So what did you do?
I left it right up
You
on that.
put it right
on that
back
wooden
up on
bench.
the- that's
That's damn
right.
right I did.
So-
My bench.
So we complained to the manager. He was the owner or whatever, but the floor manager. Didn't we get a little gift certificate out of it?
Yeah. Which we never used.
We
'cause
never went
didn't want to
back.
go back.
Anyway, so anything can happen in this city. What has happened lately to you?
Man, I was knocking everybody's my umbrella today on the subway, and not intentionally. But this thing over here, I stopped buying. I bought like an expensive umbrella. I spent like $70 on an umbrella because I was like, oh, I don't want to buy these cheap ones anymore. I'm just going to spend the money and get a good one. Well, you know what? It broke.
Did you really buy a $70 umbrella?
It wasn't that much. It was like 57.60 or something.
That's why I don't spend real money on sunglasses. I will lose or break them in like 2 seconds.
I got a great story about that too, but
Okay.
that's for you.
All right.
But I ended
Let's
up
tell all the accessory stories.
all accessory stories because it's all about fashion. And this
it's just
thing-
for you, Delia.
This thing kind of like on its own, if I do it enough, like it'll just like spring out on its own.
That's not fair. By the way, that thing, excuse me, I mean, not to make fun of your selection of an umbrella, that does not seem to be worth $55 just
This
on
is
a-
not the $55
Oh,
umbrella.
okay.
And if you'll notice, the fine metal around it is already just peeling
Yeah.
ever so slightly. Now, I bought this when it started to rain, and the second I bought it, it stopped raining. It was one of those things. If you don't live here in New York, you're probably not familiar with
Yeah.
that. Or if you live in an area where it rains a lot and stops intermittently. But it was real pain in the ass. So I spent $10 on this. Shame. And on the subway today, when I was just minding my own business, snowboarding in the middle, as I mentioned earlier, like I do for balance and core work, because that's what you should do. Core work is very invaluable. That's your tip of the day from me, rather than Harry, is it would pop out and it hit a guy like as he's sitting down, and it hit him in the knee. And I didn't acknowledge it at first because I was like, you know what? I'm trying not to fall, so I'm just going to ignore it. So I kind of like pushed it back in, which should have been enough acknowledgement that obviously it hit him, but I didn't let that in. So it did it again, and I'm like, oh, sorry. And he just gave me this look like, you're the worst human being that's ever come into my existence. And I'm like, you know what? Cool, man. I get it. So I moved, And then this woman came next to me and like not popping out this time, but like I just kept bumping into her with it, and not because of any reason. And then I literally thought on the subway, oh, I'll tell this on the show today because it'll be interesting for the 5 seconds that it was interesting. It's not really an interesting
I love
story.
the random umbrella pop though.
It's just,
Oh,
you know,
geez, so sorry.
oh gosh, I'm so sorry. It's just too bad it didn't hit you in the eye because clearly you're taking it way too personal.
You know, I would think that would be great exercise, the constant pulling the umbrella back in.
It's like the shake weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, except it's pop in, pull in, pop in, pull. Yeah.
It's for your low rent gym. You see,
Your low rent gyms.
You don't have real exercise things. You see, so you got your broken umbrellas in the
Right.
corner there, and then you got the free weights, which I call them soda bottles full of ice.
Well, those are for taking.
Those are
You take
are
those and
well,
then you
no. The
drink.
great thing is you exercise with them, and then the heat from your hand melts the ice, and then you got to drink. We charge $1.50 for them if you don't exercise.
Wait, the weight's made out of ice?
It's made out of ice.
I'm very confused now.
All right. So, and then there's one more exercise thing that I love. What it is everybody tries to punch each other, but they just miss. So there's a lot of, it's calisthenics, you see.
I see.
It's cardiac.
A lot of
Or
cardio. There you go.
Well, it's a cardiac for me.
Here, you guys talking about fitnessing, and I got some more tips. Get out of here, Harry. No one wants to talk to you. I'm sorry about that.
Anyhow, that's a crazy tale there, buddy.
Well, it was a little scary. I mean, it's never too scary. Like we all have run-ins in the city.
Yeah.
You know, I know you've had some rough ones.
Oh my God.
You had a really bad one that I don't know if we need to get into.
No, I think
we told it, didn't we?
Told it on this show. I think.
Yeah, I
maybe
think you did. That was bad.
That
man.
was crazy. That was pretty. Did I ever tell you the story of? I don't see. I'm worried I've told it on this show already.
You should be worried.
I don't know if I ever told it. Not the story you were talking about. Did I ever tell you the story about when I got hit by snowballs
No.
by some hooligans? No, it's not bad like the other story.
Okay.
So one time I was in Brooklyn. I went to an audition, and it was winter, and I was walking home, or going to the subway, and I passed an intersection. It had sort of freshly snowed. There was a good amount of snow, and I saw a bunch of teenagers throwing snowballs and collecting snowballs, and as I had like a winter coat on, and as I walk away from, I passed the intersection, I felt a snowball hit the back of me. And, I felt a little bit Bill Murray-ish in Groundhog Days. Ah, you scallywags, but I kind of turned around, I kind of looked at him like, all right. And then another one skittered by me, and I realized these are like ice balls.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized this is not playful winter time. These are like hooligans that are throwing snowballs at a man walking on the street. It's not cool. And it was right at a moment where I'd been living in New York just long enough where I had had enough of being taken advantage of by New York.
Mm-hmm.
I had that moment that a lot of New Yorkers have if they move here, whereas they're not innocent anymore. And
stuff's happened.
It's when you stop getting out of other people's way on the sidewalk and you start maintaining your own course and other people get out of your way now. That moment that happens, you're a New Yorker in my mind. You know what I mean? The moment you say to the guy at the bagel shop, gosh, I don't have enough money. Could I bring it to you tomorrow? And instead of saying, oh, sorry, just leave it. I'm so sorry.
Totally.
Instead you go, hey, can I still take this? I'll bring the money tomorrow. You're a New Yorker. All this stuff, whatever. The minute you get out of a subway and the people are standing, you go, get out of my way. Yep. You're a New Yorker instead of going, excuse me. So there's nothing wrong with being polite. Don't misunderstand me. So I had enough. So I turn around at them. And what you probably don't know about me, Delia, is I came to New York as an actor. So that was actually what brought me to New York was as I'd gotten a certain place in my acting. I was doing some things and so I turned to them. I went up to them with my best. I wasn't wearing these glasses. My best mafia, authoritative mob boss persona darkened my face, just really. And I went up to them and I was like, "You better know your enemy before you throw something at him, or you try to something along those lines. Like, know who you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
You better be careful." Something like that. And I kind of saw their face. They just hadn't expected it. I don't know if I scared the bejesus out of them, but I'm saying it wasn't like what it was. So I turn around, I start walking away. I'm like, I wonder if that'll work. And then I heard him say, "Oh, it's the police. It's a cop." And I turned around and I wanted to turn around and go like, "No, it was mafia." I'm like, damn, didn't work. They thought it was the cop.
Oh, that's disappointing.
They didn't respect me.
Yeah, I know.
It's like they would have respected the mafia,
ridiculous.
but not the cop at all, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So,
that's really ridiculous.
anyway,
these days with that.
that happens. So, all right, listen, let's play an improv game, shall we? Close out this segment and we'll get to talking about Delia and what she does. So, Ben, earlier I charged you with the thought of recalling any of the games that we used to play. And there's no pressure, honestly, but I didn't know if there was one that you preferred to revisit.
This is one of those times in life where I'm glad the pressure isn't heavy, because not only did I not think of one, I literally just blanked out on any idea.
Okay. So I have an idea.
Okay.
Not because I was holding on to this, but it's the one game that I think we both can probably remember easily.
Okay.
And I actually, I'm going to give a choice of 2 games that I know you remember.
All right.
Okay. And I'm going to let Delia choose which one it is without knowing what the game is. I'm going to give you 2 choices. What would Arnold do? Or the news. So, what would Arnold do, or the news? Your choice, Delia.
No more context?
No more context, and then I'll explain what the game is. This is not a gotcha thing. It's just that it's more fun if you don't know what it is.
What would Arnold do?
Okay. She probably should have chose the other one.
I was hoping. I don't even know what the other one
You
is.
don't know what the other one is?
Other one?
Oh, you don't know what the other one is?
And news.
Oh, let's do the other one. Okay, I'll tell you what would Arnold do, but we'll play if you don't remember. If you
No, I
maybe you
don't.
didn't even play this one.
Maybe
We might have
not.
made it up when John was on the show.
God, I teach it.
So what would Arnold do, by the way, is we all have to do an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. It doesn't matter if you're good at it or not. And basically, we put Arnold in an everyday situation, and we have to have Arnold in that situation. So Arnold could be in a, working at McDonald's, hello, would you like fries with that? Hey, you get down, all that stuff, right? So the news is basically you're a news reporter in the field. So there's 2 people playing. One is in the studio, one is out in the field, reporting on a situation. And it's usually a situation that really isn't a news story at all. Like the cat stole the remote, and that's like, or like the grass is finally growing, or I forgot my toothbrush or something like that. But it's like it's a big live news story. So we throw it from the studio to the person in the field, and they're reporting like it is the groundbreaking. Like they got to make it into a big thing. They're reporting from the field, maybe talking to witnesses, the whole thing. That's the news. Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Love it.
So how about you and I start out, and then we'll do one with Delia as well. So Delia, what we want from you is what that everyday normal situation is that probably is not something that would be worth a news report. And then Ben and I will report on it.
We ran out of hamburgers.
Great. We ran out of hamburgers. Thank you. So I'll be in the studio. I'll throw it to you in the field.
Okay.
And that's why we found a walnut that looked like Nixon. We are here at FPT News, and it looks like we have a breaking news story out there on Highland Drive. We're going to throw it to our reporter in the field, Ben Rose. Ben, what can you tell us about the situation as it is developing on Highland Drive?
Well, it's almost impossible to describe.
Why don't you try?
All right, here we go. Hamburgers are aloof. There are a major amount of hamburgers that have not been delivered to many different establishments here in the city, and frankly, there is no need to worry because I'm seeing a truck in... That's not it. That's a bun truck. It's not a meat truck. Again, we got a real problem here, Mark. There is no meat or hamburgers for these buns, and everyone in the district is confused and worried. And frankly, does anyone know? Nobody knows.
Ben, we have a question from our producers. Is it that there are not enough hamburgers, or is there an excess of buns?
That is a great question. It looks like, and don't quote me on this, now we're getting mustard packets. I can't even keep up with what's going on here. It must be the buns.
So again, everybody, according to Ben Rose...
Not the pickles! Mark, can you still hear me? It's getting dangerous down here.
I was going to directly quote you, but I can't remember what you said.
Get out of there! All right. Are you there, Mark?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, you're there. Okay. You
I'm
can
trying to
That's
still
good.
figure this
You
out.
get it?
I had a question for you. I heard that there's a.
You heard? What did you hear? Hold on, he might know about the hamburgers, Mark.
There's a helicopter filled with hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
That's about. It's actually a.
Ooh, all right, they don't want hot dogs. They want their hamburgers.
It's the dog copter is coming in.
There it is. I see it. The dog copter.
It's about to land.
It's landing right now. Now I'm warning you. If people don't see, they're jumping on the helicopter. They're taking it down. This is look. Oh God, they're killing.
It's
They're
madness.
killing Terry. Terry, get out of the. Oh God, Mark, what have you done? What have you done? Why am I here? Why did you send Terry? They're killing him. No.
It seems we've lost Ben. So we may come back for more coverage later, but for right now, it's my lunchtime and I have a hamburger waiting in the kitchen. More later. Back to all my children. Very nicely done, sir. You totally understand this game. I love it. Thank you.
That was so funny.
All right, so let's go ahead and have you do it. And do you mind being in the studio,
No,
Ben?
not at all.
And Delia, I'm going to throw you a problem. It's so clever, entertaining you. So a nice news report here. You're reporting in the field, Delia, from wherever Ben sends you, and your problem is that someone blew out a candle. So that's the news report, I should say. That's the breaking news is someone has blown out a candle.
And that's why I won't bite my nails anymore, but don't go asking my wife about it. It's been a long week. We've got an urgent report, breaking news. Our field reporter Delia is somewhere in Hampshire Fields, and apparently the light is out. Delia, can you report?
Reporting live from Hampshire Fields. It is Christmas Eve. and the candle has just been blown out. It was the one candle in the entire city.
Oh, goodness.
So it's a complete blackout. You would not believe. And Christmas Eve is supposed to be so joyful
Right.
with all the families.
Delia, are there children crying?
Every single child is crying.
Oh, heavens. What, is there anything you can tell us about what they plan to do about relighting the candle?
There are no matches for miles.
Oh,
I really am not sure.
you're the only light there. It looks so pitch black behind you.
I know. We're trying to call in the cavemen.
Oh, where are they?
They're coming around the bend, but they know how to create fire.
Oh, monsieur, I'm trying to find my way.
Santa?
Why, yes, but I can't see where the houses are to deliver any of the presents. I guess I'll just have to be on my way and return next Christmas.
Don't forget about us in Hampshire
Wait,
Fields.
Can you ask Santa a question? Is he still there?
Santa's still here. He's about to leave.
Delia, can you ask Santa
Wait,
how...
is that you, Ben? You've been a bad boy this year.
Delia, can you ask Santa about every child he's visited so far and let him know that I've not been a bad boy.
You
I've
didn't
been a
get
very
your
good boy. I'm not biting my nails anymore.
You didn't get your gift?
No, I didn't get my gift.
Just coal.
Well, yes, just coal.
Oh, you've been a bad little girl too, haven't you?
Can we confirm that this is really Santa Claus?
No, it's me, Teddy.
Teddy? It's that guy that drinks by the lake. Teddy, get out of here! Oh, God. I know too many people in too many places. All right, Delia, can you report it? Is there any hope? Do we have any new news? Anything?
I think I see a bright, very distant light. Someone is coming to save us. The people from the next town.
Delia, I think we can get her heart started. Start CPR. I think she may be seeing a light.
Come with us. Don't leave. Stay here.
Don't leave.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Run to the light, Carolyn.
Merry Christmas as I get some...
Oh my gosh, this is the craziest, weirdest nightmare we've ever woken up from. That was great. Thank you very much. That was lots of fun. Woo!
Best line is the cavemen are coming. Why? Because they know how to start fire.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That was great.
That's the
Well
greatest
done.
line.
Well done. That's good. I love how you just power through. You're laughing and you just like power
Awesome.
through. Very, very nice. That is the news. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's all Delia all day. Go to this.
If Colin Mockery, Cyndi Lauper, and Scooby-Doo all had a baby together, that's pretty much this program. On its best day. This is Funny People Talking.
Welcome back to Funny People Talking. It's Ben Rose to my right, and it's Delia Folk right in front of me. Delia, let's start with this as we kind of fold open your life and your career and all the things that are important to you. And for some reason, I'm talking in a British accent.
It's
I don't know why. It seems to make the interview more important.
I would love a spot.
This is the BBC.
And this is BBC.
Exactly. As opposed to
BBC 203.
hold on, I think there's people breaking into the studio. Hello there. Hello.
Can I say something?
Yeah. Hey, Billy.
Yeah.
This is a nice studio, the BBC.
Oh, I think it's very nice.
There it is. Oh, look, that's very clean over there. I think we can play me a 45 over there.
I think you're right.
And break it into little pieces. We'll throw it everywhere. It'll be
that's
very popular.
Violent words.
It's me, Mickey.
It's me, Billy.
Together with Mickey and Billy. Listen to us on 103.9.
Sailboats.
Yes. Anyway, back to Delia.
Boy,
That was stream of
I was
consciousness.
going to say, very disconcerting for somebody.
I know. I'm sorry for doing that to all of you, but with Ben back in the studio, to me, every once in a while, we're returning to some of our old characters that we used to do,
Yeah.
or old bits we used to do when we did a show together. So thank you for indulging us if you're still here.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you like what
I
we're
know.
doing. Jeez.
So Delia, all kidding aside.
All kidding aside.
All
Those
kidding
boots.
aside. Yes, we've put it aside. It's to the side. Now I look ahead.
To the side.
The kidding's not there, but Delia is.
To the side. Kill your teeth.
And we're sober. Delia, okay. So you are a fashion consultant, and that is the way I've sized you up in the most simplistic of ways. Tell us what it is you really do. And I often like to start with a question that's along the lines of, how close is this to what you wanted to do when you grew up?
Very interesting. Well, I grew up in Alabama, and so I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life.
Now, what does growing up in Alabama have to do with not wanting to know what you want to do in your life?
Well, because you're very far removed
Oh.
from New York City. So how did
Oh.
I get here?
That's true. How did you get here? Paragliding?
No, I flew on a plane.
Okay.
So I decided that I wanted to move to New York and work in fashion. And so I interned at Versace, and then
Wow.
fabulous.
By the way, I interned at Versace. Like, that just happens.
Right.
That doesn't just happen.
I
How-
had Versace too.
You did not.
All right, fine.
Okay.
I didn't.
It doesn't just happen, Ben. Can you just back up for a second? You don't just like live in Alabama and the next day you're interning at Versace. That's quite an accomplishment, actually. How did that end up happening?
Thank you for saying that. Well, if you don't know, I'm very type A
Okay.
and regimented. So I had a meeting with someone who worked in the fashion industry, and they said, if you want to work in fashion, these are the things that you can do. I knew nothing. I didn't even know what Women's Wear Daily was. And so that was sophomore spring. I did all of those things, and it was networking and cold calling. I would literally pick up the phone and Google. Well, first I would Google Prada headquarters, New York, and I would call them. And either they would hang up or they would tell me, or they would tell me the email or connect me to the person. So it was just literally seeing who would talk to me. I would talk to
It
anyone
was a
and
law of
everyone.
large numbers. Eventually, you're going to have someone that says yes.
Exactly. So then I came up here on spring break and had interviews, and from there chose Versace because I thought I wanted to work in a showroom for a brand and understand the inspiration behind the collection, Donatella Versace in this case, and then translate that into sales. So it was literally, I mean, I knew one person in the fashion industry. So how does Delia, Alabama, Versace happen? It was just a lot of putting myself out there constantly, seeing whatever connection I could come up with.
Hey, success, what is it? Opportunity is hard work meets good luck. Is that what it is? Something like that?
Probably.
So you put the hard work in and you ran across some good luck and put yourself in the right place.
Exactly. So then I started at Barney's on the buying team after I graduated, which again, all of senior year after coming back from Versace, continued to network, because what does it mean to work in fashion? Besides being a fashion designer or an editor, I had no idea that there were all these other jobs. And how was I going to find out what does it look like to be a buyer versus work in marketing or PR or all these different things? So I literally I had my questions that I would ask on the phone calls if someone would talk to me or if they would have coffee with me. And so the 2+ years of networking, when I finally was going to move here, I sent out an email to everyone and said, if there's a job at your company or at a friend's company. So my resume was forwarded very quickly to the Barney's team, and I started within a week. But it didn't just happen within a week. It happened, there was a lot of preparation and groundwork before. So I was in beauty, ready-to-wear, and jewelry at Barney's on the buying team, which was beyond.
Wow. So once that happened, there came a point when you weren't on the buying team anymore. So how far in your advancement at Barney's had you gone before that stint ended? From coming in and that first day to when you left, how much advancement had you made, or what kind of experience had you been able to gain?
So much experience. It's incredible. And also getting to work with the 3 different departments. They're such different businesses. So I was beauty, ready-to-wear, and then jewelry. And jewelry was kind of a mix between beauty and ready-to-wear, which was very interesting. And so I was associate buyer on the buying team, and I was there for 4 years. And then in the midst of that, Mom and I we each started our own blogs. And then in April 2018, we combined and brought them to life via video and podcast.
So before you continue on that, let's talk about your mom for 2 seconds, just for context. So what does your mom do?
She is a personal wardrobe consultant or stylist.
In Alabama?
In Alabama, but she has clients nationally.
I gotcha. How did she end up with clients nationally working out of Alabama?
Exactly. So word of mouth. It's in person is preferred, but virtual can also work. So she comes up here to New York, so she has a lot of clients, and it's because people have family or friends in other places. So she will work with them in Alabama, and they'll say, oh, well, my sister lives in DC. Could you work with her? Or maybe they would see a magazine advertisement. So that's how they would probably find out about Mom and then contact her. Or Instagram now. People find her on Instagram. Like she has a recent client in California and they found her through Instagram or YouTube. People are finding us through YouTube. So it's kind of putting out all these messages to the world that this is what we're doing. And it comes back in all these different ways.
So now you've got all these media pieces that you've launched. Some are newer than others. What's the ultimate goal with this media empire that you're building? How does that play into the larger vision that you and your mom have together? And is the vision for you and your mom to build a business together that's what your career is that business?
Right. So I left Barney's last September and we went to Fashion Month.
And why did you leave Barney's?
Because I wanted to go to Fashion Month and I couldn't travel for a month and stay there.
That must have been a big decision.
Yes.
Were they surprised to hear that you were leaving?
Yes. I mean, it was very bittersweet. It was terrible. They're like, this is such a great opportunity. How can you leave this job? This is everyone's dream job. But it was time for me to fly my wings because I didn't want to just be a buyer. I wanted to be an editor and work in tech and do all of these things. So the goal of our content is to inform, inspire, and entertain. So we're not ever putting out content just to say, oh, I have a fabulous life. Look at me, like my photo. It really is about, since we have this end to the fashion and the art space that can be opaque, exclusive industries, we're pulling back the curtain and saying, come with us so you can be inspired or learn something new, etc. So based on our expertise and relationships, we use YouTube or podcasts to either introduce the audience to emerging brands, or we do a lot of runway to reality. So understanding, okay, this is the whole holistic worldview of what just happened at Fashion Month, but how can a normal person wear these trends? It's a very small percentage of people that actually wear what's on the runway, or even the beauty. How do you interpret that look and make it kind of pare it down for everyday life?
Very cool. What's the biggest takeaway you've gotten out of where you've gotten so far?
Oh my goodness. Of being an entrepreneur or?
Yeah. There's a lot of discipline, a lot of structure and integrity goes along with what you're doing. And I say that as someone who's built a business. Mark, you know that just better than anybody. What have you taken away from it? And if someone's listening to you right now and really liking what you're saying.
Do you mean like she's in a thought leadership position now? What is the one thing that that you've learned along the way that you'd want them to be able to?
Yeah. Like what
I don't mean to rephrase you. I'm just trying to understand what you're trying to get at.
When you look in the mirror at this point in your life and where you are, and what do you think about as far as what it took to get here?
So much hard work. So much work goes into it. I think about a lot of times the people who are overnight successes in quotation marks, and they're like, okay, well, this has been 10 years in the making.
Right.
So I think that it's interesting. We've crunched a lot into a small amount of time. We have a lot more to go. So when I look in the mirror, I am excited because we actually are making a difference in people's lives. People tell us all the time that they were either inspired to do something or they learned about something and then they went and bought the eyeliner or whatever it was. So it's just knowing that we have so much more that we're going to accomplish that no one can totally understand yet, but that they'll just kind of be watching and come along for the ride.
So what has happened since you moved to New York City that has been the biggest New York City experience for you? What's happened that made you go, wow, this place is weird?
Weird?
Or what's made you come here and go, my God, this place is amazing? And I'm not talking about the business. I'm talking about just New York City.
So many moments. I mean, just finding myself in these places and looking around at the people that I have grown up admiring and being amongst those people now that we're in the fashion space or the art space, getting to go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art after hours and going to a gala in the Temple of Dindur, just kind of taking a moment to recognize what's happening around.
Like you do get so used to the life that you have, like you're in those moments, you go, I am someone else's dream right now. I have additional steps I'm looking at. We often have talked about this on this show. We've talked about the rungs of a ladder. And you go like, you look and you say, wow, if I ever got to that rung, how amazing would that be? I get that job. I get that kind of gig.
Right.
I get that opportunity. And then you get there, you go, I'm here. And then you kind of get used to it after a while. And it's still really cool, but you kind of get used to it. And that becomes commonplace. And then you look at me and say, look at that ring up there.
Yeah.
Look at that rung. What if I got there? And then that's really cool. And so I understand that feeling of kind of like you thought about being here and you're like, oh, what if I could live there? What if I could meet this person? What if I can do that? And then you're there and you're like, you work at Barney's. Whoa. You're like, yeah. So, I mean, it's cool. But there was a time where you were that, you work at Barney's person, right?
Right.
Okay. So what's your next rung? Not, what are you building next? Because I know you're working on media pieces. What's the next rung? What is the next thing you go, oh, what if I could do that?
In that scary voice.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think being an entrepreneur, it's very interesting because, well, I guess even just going through life, like you have this layer, this is your comfortable layer, this is what you grew up in.
Of course.
And then all of a sudden you kind of stretch a little bit and this idea pops in your head. And then it's like, oh, I never thought of that before.
Yeah.
And then you just that just keeps happening. So the next thing I think is to continue growing the audience so that we can share the message and more people can be helped, inspired, entertained, and informed. Is that to answer the question?
Well, I mean, any answer is fine. There's no answer I'm going for. But just to clarify my question, in case there is a different answer that you want to have, I'm fine with what you said, is I'm saying, okay, so this is what you're working on now, but you're still a
Right.
very young person.
Right.
In terms of the spectrum of how long people live and have careers. So is there something else you're also thinking, like someday I want to build an apparel brand? That's my next leap. Or I want to have offices coastal, bi-coastal, all over the country. I want to be on the lecture circuit. I want to be the person. My goal is to be that person when I go to those big fashion conferences. I'm one of the people that everyone else is watching. So therefore, that's that next rung. And I'm aiming for that. It's not just wouldn't that be cool, but I'm trying to build that and make that happen. I'm making that up, but I'm saying, is there something like that the media thing that you're building, for example, is to get you there?
It's all of those things. It's definitely, I think, but it will all live under the style that binds us. So I came up with the fact that we've created a fashion ecosystem. So that's where we have the consulting, we have live events, we have the media. Maybe we'll create an apparel brand or whatever it is. So all of that lives under the style that binds us. So being a thought leader and speaking at conferences and books and lots of different things are definitely in the future.
Great.
Close.
Good. I have one more question that I feel compelled to ask you on this show. It is Funny People Talking, and that is, how does humor connect with the things that you're doing? How do you employ humor? How do you need humor, in your work that you do? And I mean beyond the idea that, like, if I don't get to laugh at every day, if I can't laugh at myself, or is there a more strategic way that you deploy humor in the things that you're doing to add to your success? In what way does it play a part?
Well, hopefully I will laugh every day. Life is hard in general with the ups and downs, and adding entrepreneur into that is a whole other level. And so one of the things that we try to do with the Style That Binds Us content is to provide that escape and say life is serious, of course, but it can also be lighthearted and fun. So let's talk about the things that we go through as a human, but let's get through it together so we don't feel that we are alone or different. So, I'm constantly laughing when I listen to my podcast, walking around the city. I'll just burst out laughing, and people probably think that
At your own podcast?
Well, no, not my podcast, just listening to other podcasts.
Right.
Anything, people say funny things, and especially when you're an entrepreneur, or I guess any work, you're just so focused. So then you're like a little delirious and stir crazy sometimes when you're walking around. So I feel like humor, I don't necessarily try to be funny, but we definitely want to make sure it's fashion. So I'm not a doctor and saving lives, but we are definitely providing that dose of hopefully whatever it is you need that day.
Nice.
It's interesting because you think humor, the base of humor working, I think, is that there's an unexpected turn. It's really where a joke goes where you didn't expect it to go. That's what makes it funny. That's what triggers that involuntary response in us often, right? So I'm wondering if fashion, how do you think fashion has a parallel to that in you're trying to go somewhere with fashion that someone didn't see coming? And that's part of what catches people's attention. If you look at a lot of fashion shows, most of the clothes that are displayed in fashion runway shows are not clothes you're going to see out on the rack. They're designed to catch your attention and to explain the ethos of who that designer is and how they think and what they're thinking about the next season's line conceptually, right? As well as to entertain and just show what's possible for you to put together, right? But so much of that stuff is funny. There's a lot of stuff that you can't help but laugh at and go, you're not serious about this, right? It's intended to be absurd,
Right.
which is artful in many cases, right? So how can people connect with you and follow you in the things that you're doing?
So you can visit our website, thestylethatbindsus.com. And there's at The Style That Binds Us on Instagram and at Delia Folk. And my mom is at Allison Brown.
Shout out to Allison. And I'll tell you, I think Delia is someone that you might want to know. So you should reach out to her. whether you're in fashion or not. It's always great to know new people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congratulations to both you and your mom on everything you've been building. I think you have a really bright road ahead of you.
Thank you for saying that. So do y'all. This is so fun.
Thank you. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we're back, more Delia and end of show food right after this.
Connect with the show at Mouth Media Network or at our website, funnypeopletalking.com. And please, for the love of all that is holy, subscribe to the show and leave us a damn review and a really, really good rating on iTunes. Pretty please? Thank you.
Okay, so Delia, it is the end of the show. That means it's time for end of show food. End of show food. Now, since Elsie is not here today, thank you, Ben. Since Elsie is not here with us, I have still kept, out of respect to Elsie, the tradition alive. Thank you. Normally what happens is Elsie scours the countryside. She goes from store to store. She goes to online and brick and mortar places and catalogs, and you never know what she's going to find. We've had food from Australia even here. You never know what you're going to have on this show. So I decided to choose something interesting as well, and the way that it goes, and you may know this from hearing the show, we describe what the food is, then we each taste it, and then we rate it on a scale of chickens. So you can choose how many chickens your own rating scale is, and be honest, and if you want more, you can have more. And that's it. So our snack today, drum roll please, is, thank you, outstanding, is the gluten-free GFB Bites, ridiculously tasty. Wait, I have to do this in a more announced way. I think I have to. The gluten-free Bites GFB, deliciously tasty protein-packed snacks. Chocolate cherry almond. They are gluten-free, certified vegan, non-GMO verified, soy-free, and certified B Corporation. No, that just has to do with the company. And it says, antioxidant-rich Montgomery cherries, premium dark chocolate, and toasted California almonds are everything you want in a protein
this thing better make its promises made.
Free from artificial ingredients and sweeteners. How's that?
It's good.
Cherries from Montgomery? That's in Alabama.
Really?
How perfect.
Oh my
I could not have chosen better.
No,
Way to go,
I
Mark.
have chosen wisely.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Gracious.
Do you know that reference? That's from,
it's not from Merlin, is it?
No, it's from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh.
When one of the knights,
right?
He chooses. He gets the chalice from the Grail, the Holy Grail,
right?
And he goes up and he chooses the right cup, and the knight turns and goes, "You have chosen wisely," because the person before that died when they chose the wrong one. You have chosen poorly. But this was wisely. So, here we go. So, we've got pad for a bit here, Ben, as I pass these out.
All right. Now, I'm going to give you a play-by-play here. Mark's got the bag in his hand. It's opened, and he's reaching for his hair now, and he's slowly walking and engaging. Oh, me first? Mark has just thrown out the gauntlet and put me, a man, in front of a woman. Now, I got to tell you, is that the Gentile thing to do, sir? I mean, come on. And now Mark has grabbed his headphones.
Maybe I want to see if they, dissolved your hands before I put it in her hands. So I was being considerate.
I'm like the test dummy for this. Okay.
All right, so are you ready? Here we go with our GFB gluten-free bites. 1, 2, 3, go. They are very cherry-y.
Mine's really cherry.
Wow. These are not bad. I think they're not bad.
A lot of cherry.
You know what's funny? These make me think of those little
Almond Rocco things. The candy.
Yeah, like the little
Yeah.
candies like you get at Christmas time or
Yeah.
whatever.
Ferrero Rocher?
Yes, the thing I can't pronounce.
And the ones, and honestly, I was like, man, these are cheap. I don't like those. This is like a better version of that to me.
Way healthier. This is really good, actually.
I like this.
Yeah.
And it's protein packed. What's the protein?
I know. And gluten free, vegan.
Can I the nutrition fact?
Want another one?
Well, probably. All right. So
Save
we
me
got-
one. Save me one for the wife, would you?
Absolutely. What did you want to know? Protein content? Our protein content. Our protein content for 2 bites is only 4 grams. That's pretty low. Our carbs are 13, which isn't bad. Sugar 6, 4.5 for fat. This is for 2. It's 100 calories. You know, everyone's so focused on calories. It's not what you need to focus on.
It's the fat and the salt, right?
It's sugar, carbs, and you should not be having salt. But yes, salt. But it's really sugar and carbs that you really need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
And this isn't terrible.
You know, you'd be proud of me, by the way. Even though I have things with salt in them,
Yeah.
I have not added salt to my food in 30 years.
Wow.
I've never added salt
I've
to my food.
never put salt on my food.
I've never done that. Have you?
Rarely.
I mean, I'm not judging. I'm just saying I just don't ever do it.
Clearly, I'm a jerk.
I'm judging.
Total jerk I am.
Delia, do you care for
You
another
want
one?
another one?
Oh, sure, of course.
Well, I'm all right. So let's rate these. Ben, how many chickens do you give this on a scale of what?
I'm going to go ahead and give this 7 chickens. And why only 7? Because we're kind of lacking on the protein here.
Okay,
They could
so-
easily have shoved some protein into this.
So these are
7
not
out of what?
7 out of 10 chickens.
okay.
I think that's being a little generous, to be honest with you. It says protein packed. See, that's a lie. It's not protein packed. It's just protein.
Yeah.
And it ain't packed.
Well, it didn't say it was packed full. It just said it was packed. That's like putting one sock in a suitcase.
Didn't say it was packed full.
I packed.
Mark, touche. Okay. Did you want another one?
No, I'm going to save one for the wife.
Okay, there's a few.
Oh, so, well, do you want one more?
Oh, I'm good.
There's 3 in here. You
Save
could
them
have
for
one.
Else.
I could have one.
Same for Elsie. She picked them out. I'm sure Heather's going to want one too.
Yeah. There you go. All right. That is it for our. Oh, I didn't give you a chance to rate. I'm so sorry. So, Delia, how many?
The most important vote.
Damn it. I would like to point out I have not voted yet. Anyway, so Delia,
We're coming to that.
I know. Delia, how many chickens?
28 out of 32.
Whoa, nice. What are the deductions for?
Oh, really?
The deductions, I really like chocolate, but it was a little too much. It was very cherry,
Mm-hmm.
like y'all were saying. It wasn't as much chocolate. It didn't really taste like a dessert. I guess more of like a healthy snack.
Yeah,
Agreed.
And
I agree.
You would have to eat so many of them to be full.
Yeah, right. Ugh.
I know. I would give it, in honor of Elsie,
Mm-hmm.
I would give it 64 out of 72. She always
Mark.
uses 72 as a rating system.
Got it.
64 chickens. And my deductions are simply that. So the 64 are the gain, the points are because it was way better than I expected. Honestly, it was surpassed my expectations fully. And I would like to point out that considering this is gluten-free and vegan and it still tasted that good, was pretty high marks for me.
Yeah.
And there was protein in it. So, you know, and I mean, so that, and probably most of that protein's from the nuts on it, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But that said, my deductions were, I felt like the taste was a 64 out of 72. Like I wanted just some other little burst there. Like it was just shy of being amazing.
Yeah,
So,
just a little flat.
but like if I was on a trip, I went into a gas station and in the gas station these things were hanging on the rack, that's what I would grab for the trip.
More than like a bag of cashews? It's got more
I'm
protein.
going by desire. Like I can't go
Okay.
get a bag of cashews
Right.
because cashews are too oily for me. But a bag of almonds I would get
I get
because
that.
that's got like traction.
Yeah, but none of this fills you up.
No,
Like I'm just saying, like
I can fill up on almonds.
oh man, like a bag of almonds, that's nothing. I gotta eat.
I put almonds on my
I'm
cereal.
not vegan by any stretch, but and I eat a lot of meat. Chicken. Just chicken. I feel so judged right now.
No, you can eat chicken.
I'm
That's
not
like the best way to ever hear you can eat chicken. Like that accent is great.
I want to point out she's vegan, but she's wearing snake boots.
Vegetarian. Okay.
Sorry,
It's
vegetarian.
Because,
Sorry.
Let's clarify.
My-
yes.
By the way, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just kidding around.
I know.
Go ahead, though.
It's very,
Defend
it's
yourself.
a sensitive topic for everyone.
Is it really?
For a lot of people.
Tell me
Well,
why.
I just don't
I didn't
like-
mean to be insensitive.
It's not
sure you do.
insensitive to me, but it's just that the taste, texture, and smell of meat I do not prefer.
Oh, I was not making fun of no. I was talking about the irony.
I
as
know it's
opposed-
very ironic, and the
That's it.
fur and everything.
That's it. I wasn't judging the being a vegetarian.
But I wasn't a vegetarian because of animal rights, even though I'm happy that that is included.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
You know, I was vegan for 6 months.
Oh, how did that go?
Years ago. Great. I felt great. I lost weight. This was before I even moved to New York. I lost weight. I felt great. And then right at about 5 months or so, I started petering out. And there was the social impact of all these like business dinners and stuff I went, and everyone else was getting all of these steaks. Like you go to like a business function and everyone's getting prime rib and all this stuff. And then they bring you like a mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I'm hungry. I'm still hungry. I don't need less food. I just need different food.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that should be like the vegan association, like or vegetarian association's like motto. I don't need less food. I just need different food. Anyway, and you will certainly understand this, Ben, and as a nutritionist and fitness coach and everything, that I had not educated myself on what you needed to do to be healthy as a vegan.
Mm-hmm.
I just stopped consuming things that would have led to that.
Right.
So consequently, I wasn't taking extra iron and I didn't take any supplements. I didn't find foods that could give me those things instead.
Yeah, iron's a big one.
And my body was screaming for iron and screaming for those things. So I started to literally crave meat.
Yeah.
And that was my body's, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I believe very strongly in cravings are often your body's way of communicating to you that you need certain things. Even if these things don't seem like they'd be healthy, there's something about them that's telling you it's a signal that you need something, right? Yeah. I believe that truly.
Absolutely.
So anyway, so I caved, and then I haven't been vegan since. But I did it. And it's funny, I tried. I was like, let me see what happens for a week. Then it was 2 weeks. I was like, well, I went 2, I can go a month. And then it was a month. And I'm like, well, let me see how far I can go. It was never like, I'm going to be vegan now.
Right.
I went as long as I could.
That's
so
awesome.
I mad respect for it. I failed. So,
No. It's good to challenge yourself and discipline yourself.
Yeah.
It's good. It's healthy.
But that's cool that you're vegetarian. That's really, really awesome. Do you like fish or?
I've started to eat fish, particular about it, but I'll eat like grilled salmon because of the omegas. So
that's cool. That's cool. So I'm sorry. I hope I didn't make you feel uncomfortable.
No, definitely not. It's
bad.
just a juxtaposition that some activists probably would not.
Oh, yeah. I
agree
wasn't even
with.
like being judgmental about it. There was no point there. I was like, yeah, no. So I know so many people I know my friends are vegetarian or vegan. I mean, it's just a reality of even being in the fashion world and beauty and all. That's just who so many people are just that way. So, and more, there's more pressure now out there to do this with. I mean, look, I'll tell you a story. Recently, I interviewed the chief operating officer of Papaya King. The one of the hot dog. You know,
That
you got
one
like
near the West Village.
well, there's Papaya King and Chelsea Papaya and
I've
Gray's
seen it.
Papaya.
I've seen it, yeah.
There's a whole bunch
It's
of
like very bright.
whole
It's
bunch
not
of
your
different
jam.
ones, right? Okay, so anyway, the point is that they are making a move to start introducing pressed juices and healthier options because they are two things. One is, I'm just using them as an example. This is for 86 years. They've been selling hot dogs and Hawaiian drinks, papaya and stuff, right? After 86 years, and they have a loyal following. They don't need to change anything. They have customers. They're realizing what people are wanting and calling for. The next generation is calling for these things. They are realizing the impact that meat is having on the ecology. They say, well, we can't just stop doing it. We have no business. We have a responsibility to continue on. That's our business. But what can we do to add in the realities of the world and pay attention to the vegans and the vegetarians and the people that are trying to eat healthier and so forth? So Delia folk. Thank you so much for joining us and taking some of your evening, your busy, busy week to be with us here. I hope you had a lot of fun.
I did. Thank you for having me.
Good. It was great to meet you. Well, I met you before, but it's great to get to know you better.
Great to meet you.
Yes.
Nice to meet
Fine.
you.
Thanks for taking up the slack there, Ben. I appreciate it, my friend.
problem.
Ben Rose,
Mark.
what a pleasure to have you in the studio. I just love hanging out with you. Thanks a lot, man.
Bud.
And Miss Danielle, Miss Elsie, but I'm glad Ben was here. That is it for this episode of Funny People Talking. And a good one it was. Boy, we were just all over the map on this one, weren't we? So, and it's the best of ways. Until next time, everybody, we really appreciate you listening. We'll see you next time. And until then, stay funny.
Don't give us that look. We know exactly what we're doing. And we're totally aware it might not be entirely legal in 19 states. This is Funny People Talking. Copyright 2019. No portion of the content may be reproduced or published without the strict written permission of the producers. Connect with our show at Mouth Media Network or at our website, funnypeopletalking.com. I'm your announcer, Peter Coleman. Thanks for listening.
This is Mouth Media Network. Amplify and connect.